Hey there guys, and welcome back to another reaction video, mainly because honestly, it's too hot and I don't feel like recording a video game. No, seriously, it's that hot. I do want to play a game, but I don't think you guys want me to make videos where I just go on a murder spree in Skyrim. Anyway, today we'll be reacting to 7 What the Fuck Bosses who have some explaining to do. I mean, I love a good video game boss as much as the next guy. So yeah, let's see what weird or WTF bosses there are in this video.
Everyone loves a good video game boss.
Yes! Unless you're playing Sekiro, apparently.
Okay, everyone who isn't currently playing Sekiro. The bosses that really stick in the mind, however, are the ones who are so weird that we still can't explain
what the hell
were thinking when they decided to have you fight them.
Oh yeah, I've heard about Morgan Freeman being a boss in the game.
Spoilers ahead for the following games.
Overpowered one too. Star Fox, God Hand, Dead Rising, Skull Monkeys, The Simpsons, South Park, The Frederick Butthole, and Nier Automata. I actually have one of the Nier games for the Xbox.
When the entire premise of your video game is anthropomorphic animals flying around in spaceships, it takes a lot for a boss to be considered weird. Star Fox manages it though with the final boss of the Out of This Dimension stage, who is a giant flying slot machine.
Imagine having to speedrun this game while also defeating this boss.
Laser fight against a one-armed bandit is the sort of weird journey you'd expect to undergo in a peyote hallucination rather than a Nintendo video game. First of all, you need to shoot a specific asteroid until an egg comes out of it. Then you need to wait until that egg hatches into a space bird before flying directly into that space bird, because honestly, why not at this point? What follows is a nightmarish mishmash of weird faces, jaunty music, and nausea-inducing warping backgrounds that you're somehow expected to pilot a spaceship through without throwing up all over your SNES controller.
Huh.
Shoot enough random space nonsense, and you'll be confronted with the stage's final boss, the aforementioned slot machine, which flies out of space at you for basically no reason, ready to rumble.
And how would you actually go about beating this boss, I wonder?
Shooting the machine's lever spins the dials on the front, and the only way to defeat it is to hit the jackpot by hitting 3 sevens in a row.
Oh.
Combinations have different rewards, however.
So it's completely luck-based.
Missiles and lasers.
So it's just completely luck-based then.
Hit the jackpot, however, and the machine will self-destruct, and you get Star Fox's second ending, in which Fox is stuck forever in this alternate nightmare dimension from which there is no escape.
I mean, I think this is a pretty old game at this point.
Wow.
If the graphics wouldn't be a dead giveaway.
Is it still the end if I blow up the words "the end"? Who's he? Can he get me out of here?
Nope. Wait, the midget? Huh?
Check your back, smartass.
Kick me in the god hand.
Damn it, Olivia!
God
Damn.
tells the story of Gene, a jerk with a magic arm who spends 80% of his time doing what anyone in his position would do, kicking people in the crotch.
I mean, that's nothing new at this point.
The other 20%, that's taken up with fighting bosses, and let me tell you, God Hand is no slouch when it comes to...
Is that a gorilla?
Guardians. There's a luchador gorilla.
Wait, you're not a human, are you?
Yeah, what gave that away?
Guitar and his mate, the human drum kit.
Time for the encore! This time we've got a special guest! Hitting the drums, Debussy! Thank you! represent.
And I mean, whatever's going on here.
I don't got any batteries for you, Tinny.
As inexplicable as those bosses are,
The
however,
hell?
they pale in comparison to this group of diminutive assailants that call themselves the Mad Midget 5. Bearing in mind that these guys have not been mentioned in the
Mad
game up to this
Midget
point,
5.
even in passing, I feel justified in asking for just a little bit more context as to who the 5 are, why they're here,
Rip off of the Power Rangers.
Cockeyed Wild, Joker, One Hard Gangster, Diamond. You can find me at the club. Have your pet neutered or spayed. Ow, 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 I'm hurt. I mean hurt. Together we are the Mad Midget Five.
Okay, that didn't help much. Guess we're fighting now.
I'm guessing those guys are not only a rip-off, but are kind of like a laughingstock in the game. And apparently are very weak.
Intimidating on their own, the Mad Midget 5 can prove to be a tough boss fight.
Really?
How Gene has only 2 feet and they have 5 crotches. Unless... No, that's still only 4.
Headbutt.
No, forget it, it's not going to work. Still work hard and believe in yourself and you'll eventually defeat them, at which point they'll forward roll away from you very slowly.
At this point, I'd grab a gun.
If you're thinking that isn't the last we've seen of the Mad Midget 5, you'd be right. They turn up again later in the game, at which point Gene makes fun of them and they cry.
Ah, this is dumb.
And you punch them all till they die. What the hell, God Hand?
Home run.
Guess we'll never find out what these dudes' whole deal was. Hope you're proud of yourself, Gene.
Don't act like you don't like the Bulbasaur.
Ah, he's busy. I'll try again later.
Dead. Is that a turkey?
The human bosses in Dead Rising games were always known as psychopaths.
Yeah.
But by the time of Dead Rising 4, Capcom realised we need to be sensitive to the language we use when talking about mental health problems. So they changed it to maniacs. Okay. Regardless of what you call them, I think we can all agree that not many people who bought a zombie apocalypse
I
action
guess-
flash game expected to end up fighting a high school sports mascot dressed as a turkey. I mean, they might have hoped.
You're gonna die.
And yet here we are, fighting the Grim Gobbler, apparently, who is
Grim
taking the
Gobbler.
opportunities presented by the breakdown of society to wear a turkey mascot outfit full time and create a private army of American football players to yell unpleasant motivational slogans at. Luckily, as seems to often be the case in Dead Rising games, a
Neat.
squad of peak condition athletes dressed in protective gear are no match for one out-of-shape photographer in his late 40s. And then it's
Yeah.
you and the Gobbler himself.
That and plot armor.
Who dies really easily. I mean, come on, Dead Rising, at least give him the power to unleash an actual army of actual turkeys or something. Have you seen
That
all
would
those
be
things up
funny.
close? I'd much rather fight an actual zombie.
This is why I hate organized sports.
This is why you hate organised sports? Clearly this isn't the first time Frank's had to beat a mascot to death. Truly, man is the real monster. Well, man and turkeys.
Yeah.
About talons.
Skull monkeys.
Skull Monkeys was a 1998 platform game for the original PlayStation about a little claymation dude who had to run, jump and shoot his way through levels full of the aforementioned skull monkeys, who are monkeys with skulls for heads. Hence the name. Not all the enemies were skull monkeys though. Take the first boss, for example, who is a sort of bony stone golem with a skull for a head. Or the second boss, who is a man's head with a skull for a head. Guys, I think there's something wrong with the auto cue. No, turns out there isn't, because this is Joe Head Joe, an actual boss in the game Skull Monkeys, and a creature with the head of the game's level designer, Joseph Sanabria, as its body.
Why?
Joe can shoot fireballs out of his mouth, stomach. Not entirely sure.
I mean, that's a
Eyeballs
self-insert if
out of
I've
his
ever seen
eyes,
one.
which will damage you if you let them get too close. I think that all made sense. To defeat him, you need to jump on his head, by which we mean his skull, which is sat on top of the head, which is actually his body. I think I need to lie down.
You're dreaming. What? Damn it, I was dreaming! Why is life so unfair? All I want is the ability to eat everything in sight and turn into a giant ball! Is that too much to ask? Damn you, reality!
God is different things to different people. To some,
Yeah.
God is the supreme being and creator deity. To others, God is variously a DJ, a woman, my co-pilot, and dead. That's Nietzsche.
Oh my. God's not setting a very good example.
There's no widely held system of belief, though, in which God is a lazy video gamer, perpetually playing games up in heaven and ignoring his responsibilities, like we would do if we could get away with it. That is the theological underpinning of the Simpsons game, the basically fine Xbox 360 action platformer starring everyone's favourite TV family until Season 9. Season 10 if you're feeling generous.
The Simpsons game. This is so weird. The only Simpsons game I can think of is the one where we all pretend Dad isn't an alcoholic. What could it be?
In the Simpsons game, the members of the Simpsons clan use some newly acquired and non-canon superpowers to battle their way, eventually, to heaven itself. There they meet the game's first boss, who is the bearded old man of popular imagining. Naturally, he challenges them to defeat him in a Divine Dance Dance Revolution ripoff. So far, so weird.
Was that Dr. Zoidberg?
But in the almost words of Northern Irish pop rock band D-Ream, things can only get meta. Only by destroying God's parody home consoles, the PlayStation, the He, and the Exodus box, can The Simpsons bring this game to its bizarre conclusion. In this conclusion, it transpires the Simpsons game is merely a mini-game in the real game, which is the actual real world, which is actually a video game being played by God, who is actually a character in a video game being played by, why not, Ralph Wiggum.
Do you ever wonder if you're a character in a video game?
That's just dumb. I mean, stop being dumb.
This would never have flowed in Season 8.
Welcome to Freeman's Tacos. If there's anything I can interest you in, well, you just let me know.
In the South Park universe, Morgan Freeman's acting career has hit the skids, unlike in real life, where he's starring in the upcoming third movie in the Olympus Has Fallen series, Angel Has Fallen. Anyway, in South Park, Freeman has moved to the town of South Park to open Freeman's Tacos.
I would go to Freeman's Tacos.
Letting customers craft their own tacos solely as an elaborate excuse to let Morgan Freeman teach you how crafting works in the game.
Congratulations, new kid. With an enchilada and a burrito, you've crafted an enchilada. That's the first time anyone's ever done that.
Doubt it.
Wish, South Park. Let's just say that wasn't the worst thing I ate when I was a student. That would be a colander full of expired bolognese sauce. We were out of bowls. While Freeman is there to help you out,
oh dear,
this is a South Park game we're talking about, so it is entirely possible for you to go behind the counter and punch Academy Award-winning actor Morgan Freeman in the legs.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Do it a couple of times and he'll shrug it off, but hit him a third time and Morgan Freeman has had enough and challenges you to one of the toughest boss fights in the entire game.
You think your farts are pretty bad, huh, kid? Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Morgan is
oh dear
on the battlefield. In addition to his slap attack,
oh no, they killed Kenny. I mean, oh my god, they killed Kenny. You bastards.
And fight for Morgan Freeman like one of his little penguin soldiers in that movie where he has the penguin army.
Listen to my heavenly voice and gaze upon my freckles. Congratulations, you've just been Freeman.
Charmed.
Most damaging of all, Morgan Freeman has a devastating area of effect fart attack. A sentence I didn't think I'd ever have to say when I woke up this morning. It's a real slog and requires perfect management of team, buffs, and debuffs, but stick with it and you can beat this secret boss fight and kill Morgan Freeman.
Oh my god, they killed Morgan Freeman. Those little shits.
Oh no! Now whose acting will I enjoy in Angel Has Fallen? Gerard Butler, get real for God's sake!
Bruh. Wait, isn't that the developer of the Nier games?
Yosuke Matsuda is the president of Square Enix, but someone should probably
Square
explain to him
Enix.
that being the boss of a video game company doesn't make you a video game boss. Because honestly, I don't think he's realised. This first became apparent during a Square Enix live stream in the lead up to the release of Final Fantasy 15, in which Matsuda-san
I actually have that Final Fantasy game.
Absolutely not f***ing around.
Square Enix 代表取締役社長松田洋介です。
Is he an actual boss in that Final Fantasy game?
私とお手合わせ願いましょう。
Matsuda goes on to totally own Noctis with attacks that include a massive sword, a Tommy gun, and laser eyes that we can't be 100% sure he doesn't have in real life.
Bruh.
How else do you explain his rapid rise up the corporate ladder? While this boss fight never actually made it into the game, it will eventually show up in Nier Automata in the catchily named DLC 3C3C1D1194400927. That probably stands for something. Let me check the fan wiki.
Sometime later.
You know what? We're short on time. Anyway, 3C3C1D1194400927, it just rolls off the tongue, was built in coliseums in which you could take on combat challenges. Beat enough challenges in the flooded city coliseum and you could ask someone about fighting you-know-who. And once you're done enough pestering, guess who'd appear? That's right, it's your boy Yosuke. Or if you work for Square Enix, yes, Mr. Matsuda, we can put you in the game.
Now I actually want to have that game specifically to fight him. I wouldn't be surprised it would be an achievement, you know?
He appeared to be in the Final Fantasy 15 fight, but he has picked up a few new bad habits, including firing clouds of his own face at people and saying the words Square Enix over and over again. Get Matsuda down to half health and he realises that trying to kill fictional androids in a virtual battle coliseum is going to look bad to the shareholders and goes back to the important job of running a huge multinational corporation. Only kidding, he's actually joined by the president and CEO of Platinum Games, who is similarly inclined towards murdering you. And then they both shoot approximately 1 million of their own faces in your direction.
Bruh. That has to be the biggest, the weirdest, what the fuck boss fight ever.
The reason that Kingdom Hearts 3 took 6 years. Blink twice for yes.
Thanks for watching this video about weird bosses. They were weird, weren't they?
Crap, accidentally clicked on the next video and now we're stuck at looking at this screaming face. Well, anyway, I mean, to be fair, that last boss was kind of weird. I mean, I wouldn't say weird, but more like unexpected, you know? Like, imagine you just think, oh, it's gonna be like one of those Dark Souls bosses, and then, yeah, no, it's the president of the company who made the game. Yeah. I mean, unless you have like some sort of grudge against the guy, I guess. But honestly, aside from that, it would be funny facing the president of the company that actually made said game. Hell, it's almost like that one guy you can kill in one of the Sniper Elite games or one of their DLCs, where it's literally like a critic of the game who left like a very negative remarks, and he willingly became like a boss or an enemy in the game you can actually kill. To be fair, it's a game where you have a tendency to aim for the crotch, and where A certain someone's crotch is very accurate. Yeah, you guys probably know who I'm talking about. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video of whatever I'll be making. So yeah. Hang on. Bye!